Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And we are back for hour number 2 on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. I'm Mark Hoke. Thanks for being with us today. David Difference by my side.
Yes, sir. Always. Always until we leave this planet, man.
Really?
Yeah, man. Me and you. And Brian.
Good Lord.
And Joe DeFalco.
That's a long commitment, my friend.
It is, man. I'm all about commitment.
That's okay.
You ain't down?
I'm just confused all of a sudden.
You weren't expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that.
All right. Well,
a lifelong commitment.
All right, listen, a couple months. That's usually my pattern. A couple months and then they'll phase out.
So now you're going to love me and leave me is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
See, I don't like that either.
That's I'm just being honest, man.
Unbelievable.
I was trying to fluff you up there for a minute.
Oh, stop.
Sorry.
Well, but it's funny because we're a team, right?
We are. I see where you're going. Yes, we are.
We're a team. We, and sticking together for 20, 30 years isn't necessarily a bad thing because actually our guests have done that exact same thing. We welcome Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sags, the Nasty Boys, the 2023 Cauliflower Alley Club Tag Team honorees. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Legends.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
See, they even do that together, too.
Right. Synchronized.
That's pretty awesome. Well, let me start off. Brian, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. It's a nice sunny day down here in Florida, and just soaking up the sun and out here enjoying the day.
Nice. And Jerry, you down there in Florida too right now?
Yes, I am.
God,
I'm ready to cook out, getting some ribs going and chicken and stuff, and have a great weekend here.
Oh my God, I'm on the plane. I love the Tampa St. Pete area. I'm done. I'm out of here, man. Dave, you got the show.
Yeah. I'll take over, man. I want to go too.
Well, let's talk a little bit, guys, about your careers and just how we got to this point where you're going to be recognized at the Cauliflower Alley Club. And, being a couple of guys from Allentown, I'm from South Central Pennsylvania myself, so I know the area a little bit. Jerry, let me ask you first. Did you ever imagine when you were young and over at Whitehall High School that you were going to be going on this incredible journey, with Brian doing professional wrestling and wrestling all the greatest tag teams in the world?
No, I never would have thought of it as a young kid, that would end up happening like that. But things in life are meant to be. When me and Knobs were young and first met in 6th grade or so, and he first brought me home to his house and introduced me to his grandmother. The look on her face, I still remember it to this day, God bless her, was flooring, to say the least. She said, when he said, "Sag, this is Sagsy," and she said back with a stunned but unbelievable smile on her face, "You, Sags? Are you Steve Staganowicz's grandson?" I said, "Yes." And then, yet, to find out closely in the future that our grandfathers hung out and worked together and drove motorcycles together in the 20s and 30s.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was like another generation being back together, and the rest is history,
Wow, that's incredible. And Brian, as you guys decided to get into professional wrestling, what brought on that decision to get into that profession and do it together?
Oh, we were getting in a lot of fights and getting in a lot of trouble back home, and so our parents had us. Both of our folks knew Matt Millen, and we knew Matt Millen, and at the time he played for the Raiders. He won 4 Super Bowl rings, one with Oakland, one with L.A. Raiders, and then one with San Francisco and one with Washington. And he's an announcer now for Fox, but he came and sat us down and said, "You guys are going to be in trouble and probably get thrown in jail if you don't straighten up." And then he said, "Hey, Knobs, you always like that pro wrestling. Why don't you and Sags try that?" So we looked at each other, went, "Yeah." So we bugged George the Animal Steele so much that he had Paul Orndorff, Mr. Wonderful, and Bob Orton Jr. and Jimmy Snuka ready to stretch us at the hotel, but we both had to work. And he called me back and says, "Well, if you can't make it there, should go to Verne Gagne School up in Minnesota, and that'll either make you or break you." And me and Sag got to fill out that application, and Matt was our kind of our reference to get up there, and he helped us out big time. And the rest is history. We went up there and got tortured for about 6 months, and then drove the ring around for about 6 months, and then refereed, and we did every aspect of the business until we finally, we were wrestling singles, and they put us together, and we became the Nasty Boys.
So what was behind the idea of being the Nasty Boys? Because at the time, there were so many phenomenal tag teams out there, and, pretty prim and proper, I guess, to a point, but you guys broke the mold. What brought on the decision to kind of take on that persona?
Well, Verne Gagne's daughter went out with us, and we had a different plan because Sag took ROTC in college, and I was in the Army, and we were both thinking like a mercenary gimmick, something like that. And she went out with us one night, and the next day she called us in and to her little office at AWA offices, and she says, "You guys want to call yourself the Mercenaries, but the way you acted like that last night, you acted like a bunch of nasty boys." And me and Sag looked at each other and said, "That's a good name." So from there, that's when we started to say, "Hey, we start to be Nasty Boys," because that's the way we wrestled, is the way we were barroom fighters, So we both knew what who we were doing outside the ring in fighting. So that's how it came to be that they said Nasty Boys, and from then we just kept on. We got trained very, very well by Brad Reagan, who was an Olympic champion. And, we just kept on going from different territories to different territories and learning our trait. You know what I mean? And we honed in on it very well. And we had good teachers too.
Oh, very, very interesting. So that night with Verne Gagne's daughter there, do you remember that night and why that would be her opinion of you guys after?
Well, if you went out with us when we were in our 20s, yeah, you would probably say the same thing.
Right, beautiful.
The Nasty Boys are a shoot. That name isn't no work, So, yeah, we were kind of crazy back in the day.
Oh, well, Jerry, let me ask you this, because I remember one time I got to sit down with Jimmy Hart and watch a Monday Night Raw, and was just talking about the business a little bit. And one thing that he said to me was, it was so important to make sure that people remember you. Do something that's going to stand out. Be different, even if it's something totally crazy. And was that the philosophy that you guys had, being the Nasty Boys and doing some of the stuff that you did to really stand out from everybody else that seemed to be going in a different direction?
Well, it started with the way we were taught in Minneapolis and the style of wrestling there, and it went from that to what we what we were really like, and then progressing after we took on that name, we were doing a wrestling style of mechanical regular wrestling and stuff, and multiple people helped us along that track, and one of the main ones that came in was off the WWE run. Also, Jimmy Snuka, Bob Orton, but Adrian Adonis came. And one time we came out of the ring at a TV, I think it was in Minot, and he went, "What the hell are you two doing?" We were like, "What? What do you mean? When you're calling yourself the Nasty Boys, you're out there doing arm drags and hip tosses." He goes, "Take a pin out of your pocket and stab somebody in the eye, spit in their face, take their face and rub it in their armpit." And we went, "Oh my God, that's a perfect one right there." And then moving on to Roddy Piper, telling us and giving us lessons in ago, because that was, he, believe it or not, he was a sort of a nasty boy before there was a nasty boy with his style and what he did, especially as a heel. He told us about how to take our time and manipulate the people on the way to the ring. He said that's the only time that all eyes are on you, is on your way to the ring. That, you know, and stuff like that, to develop our persona and meld it into what we were. You know what I mean? So we learned from other guys and took stuff on, and then the Rockers, Marty, Jannetty, and Shawn Michaels were very good friends of ours, and they were like maybe a year in the business before us, so we were about the same time, but they wanted to innovate, and they started turning and doing innovations with their, you know, instead of being like the Rock and Roll Express, they were the Midnight Rockers, so they were doing different stuff. So they were telling us to do different stuff, so they helped us out in the way that we wrestled as a tag team to get our combinations down and all that stuff. So Marty and Shawn were definitely the first ones that really, as a tag team, took us together and was telling us what to do. You know what I mean? Besides Kurt Hennig and, like you said, Roddy Piper, and you got Jimmy Snuka. I mean, the knowledge there is just unbelievable. You know, that's who we learned from. You know what I mean? Ray the Crippler Stevens, Wahoo McDaniels, they were all greats of the greats of this business, and we got taught by all of them. But the Rockers were definitely the first ones to start, and got us in the mode of how to, be a good unit tag team, plus our style of wrestling. You know what I mean? And then, when we went over to Japan in 1988, we went at a tag team tournament, and we were with the British Bulldogs and all the great tag teams there were at the time in old Japan for Giant Baba. So that was quite the experience. We were only 3 years in the business, and we were over there wrestling these great guys and these tag teams, and that all helped us on our journey to when we finally did have the chance. We hit WCW. We were only there for 5 months, and Vince called us after that match with the Steiners. So, then the rest is history. But that was our goal all the time, was to get the, WWF at the time, or get to WrestleMania. That was our goal. So, that was our goal in life when we got into the thing, was to try to make it WWF and try to get on a WrestleMania. And we got on WrestleMania 7. Now they're up to 40. So that just shows you our age. But that was the defining moment when we beat the Hart Foundation for the WWF World Tag Team titles, and still is a moment in mine and Sag's career that we'll never forget. Back to what you were talking about. How do we establish that nasty style? It was an accidental thing, but one of the most important things that just happened to happen, and it was in your hometown of Vegas out there, because Verne Gagne we used to fly to the Showboat, the Showboat Casino, which is no longer there, right. And on top was the Showboat Boxing Center Arena. And that's where we filmed our live ESPN television out of there for AWA at the time. Was that live from the Showboat? We would fly out and do sometimes 4 matches in a night at the Showboat. One night we got there, and Wahoo McDaniels and Ray Stevens were the bookers at the time. Said, "You and Knobs are wrestling the Rock and Roll Express, the main event." So we were very nervous and very happy at the same time. But in that main event is the match where I flew over the top rope and ate the ring post face first live on ESPN, and got 60 stitches in my face, but knocked my top tooth through my top lip.
I remember that.
Spit my tooth out in the ring. And after that, pretty much aired across the country, and they seen me a bloody mess and spit my tooth out in the ring. That pretty much established what the Nasty Boys are all about, right there.
Yeah, and then Verne got him in the locker room and was asking the doctor, "You think we can get 2 more matches out of him?" And no tooth, and he got a big scar down the middle of his head and his face. And they just gave him a towel from the hotel and said, here's $20 for a cab, kid. Go to the hospital and get yourself stitched up. So I got to walk through the casino with his wrestling stuff, all blood coming out all over the place.
Wow.
With a towel on his thing. Had to take his own cab. Nobody was there to even take us to the damn doctor. I got to take his own cab.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
So it's definitely been a magical journey for you guys. And you guys, like you said, you are that persona of the Nasty Boys. But was there ever a time throughout your career where maybe you were pitched or you guys had an idea of maybe we go a different route with this?
I don't know about that because once we developed it, all we would do was try to make what we were doing better. And then that's what led us into the what really got over by wrestling a bunch of different territories. Greg Gagne saw what we did wrestling with Shawn and Marty. Bill Dundee saw what we did in Tennessee with Pat Tanaka and Paul Diamond in Mid-South Coliseum, and with the houses we drew doing a street fight type matches in Tennessee. And Mike Graham saw it when we wrestled Johnny Yates and Mark Laurinaitis, the Laurinaitis brothers, down in Florida. And they were all bookers at the time when we came into WCW. Ole Anderson brought us in the late 80s. And they put us in that. That's why Ole put us with. They knew what we could do, and Ole came to watch us and go, "Here's two perfect guys. Nobody wanted to wrestle with Steiners." That's what set that off. And then later on, when we came back, set in motion with Cactus, Mick Foley, the first street fight pay-per-views ever, and put that all into motion. That wrestling, and next thing, that style of wrestling. Was we got in such big trouble when we did that first street fight in Chicago that it put people in shock. Knobs will tell you the Ric Flair story, but we got yelled at first for doing that type of thing, but it ended up being what would become something new in wrestling throughout the 90s and get totally out of hand with the street fights where it became a hardcore division where they would walk in the ring with a dumpster of brooms and stuff, which wasn't what we were doing. But that's what it became. It morphed into, which was insane. I thought I didn't like that style.
One thing though, we still would have our Nasty Boy gear down. So when we went to Tennessee, Lawler took us aside and he said the same thing about us. You guys, you call yourself the Nasty Boys, but you're dressed in regular wrestling tights and wrestling this. You should be more look like you're from the streets and this and that. And me and Sag put that in our head, and that's when we came up with the Splash sweatshirts. They had Nasty Boys on them, and it covered our bodies up because, let's face it, we didn't have the greatest bodies in the world, so all we had to work on is our arms looking good out of our cut-off sweatshirts, and it covered. We were the first ones to start to cover up the body thing, so.
Right.
But Lawler said, yeah, let's try this, and then he actually painted our face, and we didn't like that too much because that's kind of like the Road Warriors. But then when we were on like our regular house shows when he wasn't there, when he did, he's a big artist. He could make our faces look great. When me and Sag would do it by ourselves, it looked like 3-year-old kindergarten kids, finger painting their face. What I said. So we got rid of that when we left Tennessee. We got rid of that the makeup, the paint. We only had that for a little bit, right in the beginning, and then we got rid of that. So that was one of the things. But he did come up and say, hey, about finally getting the wardrobe down. You know what I mean? And we got rid of the conventional wrestling gear that everybody wore, and we started making our own stuff.
Who was the most challenging team for you guys to work with? I mean, not the like the tough guy. Obviously the Road Warriors were amazing and so on. But in terms of working a match, who was the most challenging one that you guys had to deal with?
Challenging was I was just talking about this. Would be like working with Giant Baba or Andre, which almost were Giants was like Earthquake and Typhoon as a team, because it's where Shawn and Marty were a night off. It was like a dream, come true with working with Buff and Too Cold or teams like the Rock and Roll Express, whatever. Then you went to, which was more challenging, working with, say, the LOD, because, you know, everything was power. The huge guys, big guys, you had to know psychology and have to work around them, was sort of challenging. What do you think, Knobs, about that?
Well, yeah, imagine it like Earthquake could wrestle. I mean, he really knew his stuff. Typhoon, Tugboat, not as much, but more of a big guy. But you understand when you're wrestling big guys like that, you got to work different than you do with the smaller guys. Or if you wrestle with the Road Warriors, we had great matches with the Road Warriors, but we knew you got to change your styles a little bit, because, you know, they do a lot of power stuff, you know, and with Earthquake and Typhoon, they're big guys, so you can't just knock them over with one hit, you know, like you do the other guys. So on the you know, the bigger guys, we always have to take more. It wasn't like it was more difficult, but it's more challenging of what we can actually do, you know, as a team. You know what I mean? You can only do so much.
Right.
Absolutely. Boy, I wish we had like a whole hour. I know, Brian, you got to get rolling, but I do want to give you guys a chance to talk a little bit about what you're going to be doing with the CAC, and congratulations on the award. So tell everybody a little bit about the award and what we can expect to see from you guys when you get to Las Vegas.
Well, I just wanted to say something, because, you know, just like in the radio business that you guys are in, you don't get anywhere without help from others. And, you know, we had Kurt Hennig as our mentor, which was incredible. As Brad Reagan as our coach, were two main people responsible for our success. And then one of the main things is Kurt, when we went to Tennessee, told Steve Kern about us. Next to Kurt Hennig, Steve Kern was probably one of the most instrumental people in our wrestling career, because he's the one that brought us to Florida. Hence, all the guys at the time lived in Florida. That's where we became close friends with Greg the Hammer Valentine and Hoke and Randy and everybody that lived down here at the time. All the guys were all Florida-based, so we came to Florida Championship Wrestling. But Steve Kern and then Brian Blair are two of our best friends in life. But Steve, with Florida, the career change and moving to Florida really changed our lives, and working in Florida Championship Wrestling, and that was all because of the help of Steve Kern and the help he gave us when we came down here. And, you know, and then with the nod from Steve, Mike Graham became our father.
Nice.
Whether he liked that or not, sometimes he didn't, but we got scolded more than a thing. But that was Mike's role. He was always yelling at us, but he loved us. You know what I mean? Because of Steve. So, and I know Steve and Brian are huge in the Hall of Fame out there at the Cauliflower Alley. And when we get there, we'll definitely talk about those guys. That's the main reason.
We wrestled Brian Blair and Jim Brunzell, the Killer Bees, over in Singapore. You should have been on that trip. Oh, my word. That was a crazy, crazy trip. I'll tell you that. But it's just a big honor to get this award from the CAC. I mean, it really is. For me and SAG, it's like, an exclamation point on our careers. So it really means a lot. And we're truly humbled and honored to receive this award in August. We can't wait to see everybody in Vegas. We love Vegas. I mean, when we were rolling in Vegas, man, it was definitely 24/7. We were in, we were out, but they knew the Nasty Boys were in town, so get ready, because Nastyville's coming to Vegas again, baby.
Oh, we can't wait. And I got to have you guys on again sometime, because this is.
We'll come in live when we're there. We get there a couple days early. Maybe we'll come on live.
That would be awesome. We would love that. Because I tell you what, I mean, you guys keep bringing back memories of my childhood and teenage years too, watching you guys go. And I want to thank both of you for coming on the show. And we'll look forward to seeing you out here in Las Vegas for the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion, August 28th through the 30th. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. Even I called them gentlemen twice. What am I doing?
They're not gentlemen. They're far from gentlemen.
We're turning Vegas into Nastyville. Get ready, baby.
All right.
You know that we are proper gentlemen. That's why you're saying gentlemen.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks,
Have a great Memorial Day weekend, you guys.
Thanks.
Have a good one out there.
All right.
You got it.
Stay strong, Vegas. Stay nasty.
There you go, guys. The Nasty Boys, everybody.
Yeah, I love those guys. Yeah, great times. Just hearing it. I was watching the contract signing with the NWO there this morning when the numbers weren't quite adding up, and then NWO said your application is denied. And that was good times. It's kind of like my contract here, man. The contract they were talking about is looking like the contract I'm looking at.
Oh, good.
And we need to renegotiate.
Now, I'll tell you what a great time that was talking to you guys. And we do have to get to the break, so we'll come back. We're going to talk a little bit about the Nasty Boys and maybe a little Jeff Jarrett follow up.
Definitely.
And then we got to talk about Night of Champions too. Because, wow, pretty interesting evening to say the least. But want to thank Sags and Knobs for coming on the show. And make sure you guys get out to the Cauliflower Alley Club. Get your membership. Go to caulifloweralleyclub.org. It's $25 for the year. And it helps support great cause with supporting wrestlers in need. Hey, we'll be back. Hang on.
In a kayfabe world, LasVegasWrestlingScene.com brings you the real story. Las Vegas Wrestling Scene is the source for pro wrestling news, along with their up-to-date events calendar. Visit LasVegasWrestlingScene.com.
Infinite Wellness can help you achieve your goals and look and feel your best. Our regenerative medicine clinic utilizes stem cell and exome therapy. We also have a comprehensive weight loss program and numerous other services you can find on our website at infinitewellness.info. We're located at 8925 West Post Road, Suite 100, right across from IKEA. You can book your appointment today by calling us at 702-842-2244 or find us on social media at infinitewellness.lv. We'd love to be a part of your journey.
101.5 FM, KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show. We've recovered from our trip to Nastyville.
Yes, sir. Oh, what a trip it was.
Man, that's going to be awesome when they get here. I mean, the whole CAC event this year.
Yeah, it's stacked.
Oh, my God. If you look at some of the award winners that they've got this year, what a crew, man.
Yeah, man, it's so much of my number one childhood and just life as a whole, man. And I'm excited about it, man. It's going to be my first one.
Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, by the way, you can go to caulifloweralleyclub.org. But some of the newest award winners that got announced over the past couple of weeks, the posthumous award winner is Killer Carl Cox, and that was a dude that lived up to his name. Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal in the ring, if you've never watched any videos of him. Coco Beware is also won one of the men's wrestling awards. That's him and Joe Malenko. Malenko we had on the show a few weeks ago. If you didn't hear that, you can check that out at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets.
Yes, sir.
And the Iron Mike Mazursky Award. This is an interesting one. And, it's funny because, I know a little bit about the CAC.
Okay.
And, some people were kind of a little surprised, even though, certainly fit the criteria, but there was a lot of discussion about this one. But guess who won that award, which, by the way, is, according to the site, is bestowed upon individuals who have made exceptional contributions to professional wrestling and have exhibited outstanding dedication to the sport, both in and outside the ring. Do you know who the person that won the award this year is? Have you heard the news?
Gobbledygooker?
No, it was not the Gobbledygooker.
All right, man. I'm telling you, when's he going to get his shine?
He's not.
Damn.
Hector Guerrero will, but not the Gobbledygooker.
All right, man.
CM Punk.
Oh, yeah.
Is
mind blown. Yeah, when I saw that posted.
Is going to be there. So this is going to be a pretty amazing awards ceremony. And your first step to getting in is getting that membership. $25. Go to caulifloweralleyclub.org. Get your membership right now. I mean, look, and the nice thing about it is, and I this is the way I put it in the spots is, we got so much enjoyment out of professional wrestling. We still do every day.
Yep.
Just look at this weekend. We are having an awesome time just getting to watch all these great talents from the indies up to the top professionals in the world. Sometimes these guys have fallen on hard times. I mean, they didn't have insurance. Like when Sags got busted up, that was coming out of his pocket.
Right.
And think if somebody had a catastrophic injury, or after their career they got cancer or something like that. The CAC's been there to help. And, we got so much out of these people who sacrificed a lot in their lives to give us that entertainment. $25 to give back.
Right. A little bit of nothing.
Is nothing.
But it goes a long way. And
it does.
I mean, that's the thing you talk about. I mean, wrestling is a business where you're all in.
Yep.
So you look at you just do this career, and then at some point your body gives up, man, and it's not the same as it used to be. And there's a lot of people that could definitely be helped in this situation. And like you said, they gave us so many memories, so many moments. It's the least we can do, man. I think it's a beautiful organization.
Yeah. So get your membership and then get your tickets to go to the events. They've got the banquets, the meet and greets, and especially this year. Man, this is going to be an awesome event. So once again, it's caulifloweralleyclub.org, and you can check that out. And of course, don't forget, we've got Double or Nothing coming up. We had Jeff Jarrett on the show, and Saraya joined us last week. Going to be an unbelievable time tonight, so make sure you get out for that. And and real quick, your thoughts on the Jeff Jarrett interview.
I thought it was amazing, man. Obviously, he's had a long, storied career. He's worked with everybody, and just talking to him, and again, a lot of the insights. If you listen to that interview, I'm gonna go back and listen to it again, man, because it was inspiring in a lot of ways. Just he'll tell you how to move through life, man.
I was ready to go to work for him. Seriously, I wanted to pull my resume after I was done.
And what would that job title be?
I don't care.
Just anything.
Jeff, need me to shine your shoes or clean the desk?
Like we learned in that interview, dream bigger. All right, shine his shoes. Come on, man.
I'm trying to think. Guitar repairman?
Yeah, there we go. Now you're a little bit bigger, Mark. A little bit bigger.
But it was an amazing interview.
Yeah, it was great, man. I one of those moments, defining moments in my life, man.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean,
no.
That's part of the fun, and you guys, and know how much time I put into the show.
Right, about 2 hours a week. Yep.
Okay. But part of that is for you guys to get to enjoy it, and for everybody else out there to at least get a little bit of a feel of being a part of the industry and the entertainment that we all love so much as professional wrestling fans.
Well, let me say this. I guess you want your flowers too, man. Thank you, Mark Hoke, for bestowing these moments on my life, and not only my life, but the people that are out there listening, man. The work that you do, the dedication that you have for this craft and this show, I'm starting to tear up, man, just thinking about all these hours you're putting in, and you are greatly appreciated, brother.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But but thanks to everybody out there that's listening. We really do appreciate it. And I do want to give some thanks real fast, because we had the Saraya interview kind of blew up almost as much as that Tony Khan interview did. And I wanted to give some specific thanks out to Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.com, Matt Black from WrestleZone.com, Jack Atkins from Cultaholic.com, our friends overseas and over the pond, if you will. And Andrew Thompson from PostWrestling.com. And I know a ton of places picked it up, but I know those guys really took a lot of time to go through the interview and put some pieces up of that, and we certainly do appreciate it. So thanks to them, and check out all their sites because they're great.
Yeah, support it all, man. We're all just sharing the love of professional wrestling. It's a beautiful thing.
You betcha.
Yes, sir.
So I'll tell you what, let's take a break, and when we come back, we
talking about it?
We got Usi. It got super duper oozy.
Yeah, it did.
It did, just a little bit. And, well, there was a lot more going on, too. And one thing we're forgetting about, there's a new world heavyweight champion, by the way. So we're going to break down the Night of Champions card from WWE yesterday over in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and a whole lot more as we wrap up our final segment on the Mark Hoke Show. So stick around for more of the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment in the multiverse, as we like to say. We'll be right back.
Get ready for one of the most exciting and interactive events on the pro wrestling calendar. The 57th Annual Cauliflower Alley Club Reunion at the Plaza in Las Vegas. Meet some of your all-time professional wrestling favorites. Check out the wrestling memorabilia. Participate in terrific seminars and star-studded events, including Tuesday and Wednesday night CAC Awards and dinner nights. Visit caulifloweralleyclub.org and get your tickets and membership today. That's caulifloweralleyclub.org.
Tired of the same boring food when you're out for breakfast or lunch? I'm Mark Hoke, and I have an idea for a different place to go with unique food you're sure to enjoy, and that's Unique Eats. Take some time out of your busy day and stop on in to Unique Eats, featuring celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco and his friendly staff. Whether it's a great start to your day with one of Unique Eats' amazing omelets, or lunch with his incredible sandwiches, pasta, and award-winning pizzas, you'll be in for a fantastic dining experience that won't break the bank. Unique Eats also features a smoothie bar and full vegetarian menu as well. Plus, if you need catering, you can count on Unique Eats no matter what the occasion. So what are you waiting for? Get on over to Unique Eats at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100, open daily until 3 p.m. Call them at 702-992-3038 or visit uniqueeatslv.com for their full menu and catering info. Break out of the same old routine and have a great meal at Unique Eats today.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Hey, let's do some more pro wrestling talk, shall we? Just for fun.
We shall, yeah, of course.
Because that's what we talk about here.
That's what we do, man. We talk about everything under the sun, but wrestling is #1.
Yeah.
You like that?
There you go.
Poetry.
Yeah.
Poetry. Hello, ladies. Hello, ladies.
The David difference.
Do we got female viewers? Or is it? Yeah, I get a lot more ladies into wrestling. I like seeing that in the crowd. Like they're dedicated, man.
Yeah, well, we were at the meet and greet for Wrestling Observer, so I got to meet Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer.
Oh yeah, that was a defining moment right there, huh?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, for what Dave has done in the industry.
Me?
No.
Oh.
You're working on it. But for what Meltzer's done in the industry and Brian, Brian Alvarez to me is probably the best in the business of what he does.
Yeah, no.
I'm chasing him, but
legendary. Well, yeah.
But he's phenomenal. And it was great to talk to both of them and meet him down at FSW yesterday. That was a blast. So yeah, just keeps rolling up.
Yeah, it was a magical day yesterday, man. I'm going to tell you that much. I mean, not just the matches, but then you got events like that where it's just a whole day filled with wrestling, and you can't get enough. It's crazy. You might be tired, drained, but it's like, here's another one. Ooh, that was a great match. It's like, if you don't know about wrestling or love wrestling, come and hang out with me for a week.
Yeah, that'll do it. Definitely.
Yeah.
Or hang out with me. You can watch me edit.
Nah, just hang out with me. I used to, real quick, in these relationships, man, I would go to sleep every night watching wrestling clips, and they hated it. It'd be on, man, wrestling every night. Then I kind of grew out of that and matured a little bit, but just a fun memory, ladies. Sorry about that.
There you go. Then you got a girlfriend.
What?
Then you got a girlfriend.
No. I was the girlfriend, and that's why we broke up.
Oh.
Yeah. Love of wrestling, man. First love.
Well, I guess that lasted longer, huh?
Always.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about Night of Champions to wrap the show up today. I kicked that show off with Seth Rollins and AJ Styles wrestling for the bronze medal. The World Heavyweight Championship.
That is the biggest prize in our industry, Mark.
No, it's not.
No.
But it has been put in the hands of Seth Rollins to try and elevate this title. And that, he and AJ had a phenomenal match, pardon the use of the word, but a phenomenal match. And Seth walks out with the title. Now, what I'm curious about is, do you think that they're going to maybe have Seth and Roman bump into each other down the road here and maybe pull the heavyweight championship off Roman and let Seth kind of be a torturer of Roman for a little while? Because I have a feeling that that might be a pretty good route to resolve this issue.
Yeah, I think so much history there. There's definitely a story that I think fans would be entertained with, and would come together quite well. Other than that, I mean, what else are you going to do with it?
Yeah, because I think we talked about the lineage and the issues with all that, and having a third championship. If you found a way, you could kind of weave this into the bloodline storyline, and have Seth take that one title off Roman, and then you could put those two titles together and make it one, and then bring that lineage back together and kind of tie it all up.
Like Voltron of championships.
Yeah, something like that. So,
right.
So I think that would be good. But Seth Rollins gets the win there. Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch, and one of our local own, trained at FSW, Zoe Stark, interferes to help Trish Stratus win that match. And I will say, Trish looked pretty good. I was impressed how she wrestled after all this time away. Of course, she's had a match here, a couple of matches coming back, but I thought she did a nice job against Becky, and that feud is nowhere near done. But Trish getting a win, wow, and Zoe showing up.
Yeah, no, that was big stuff. She looked in great condition. Still got it. She's just one that keeps going. But my biggest highlight of that is seeing Zoe Stark come out. Obviously, FSW here, local, just to see that love. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, and I think that's an amazing step up for Zoe. And those two looked pretty good together. Trish, obviously, after she was done, did all that fitness work. And I don't know too many women on the planet that are in better shape than Zoe Stark. So, I think that's a good mix. They seem like a decent pairing. So
no, I think a beautiful thing's coming together there. Definitely great move for Zoe Stark.
Gunther takes out Mustafa Ali. And, obviously Ali getting the rub here to wrestle in this match, from his heritage, and, was kind of a natural fit to wrestle for the Intercontinental title in Saudi Arabia. I don't think there was anybody that thought he had a chance to win this match, but it was still a solid match. And, Gunther continues to look dominant, and I don't know if there's any end in sight for him reigning as the Intercontinental champion. I would imagine he'll probably end up breaking the Honky Tonk Man's record for longest reign as an Intercontinental champion and just keep this rolling.
Yeah, there's a lot of long title reigns going on these days. And I got to go back and watch this match because I got home super late last night and I dozed off. I apologize for that. But the reviews that I heard this morning, they were saying that was the match of the night. So for you to kind of breeze over this, did you watch it in detail? Okay.
I did.
Was it a great match, or is it worth me going back and watching?
It was pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to give it 5 stars, but, Ali looked pretty solid, and I thought he, performed very well. Had his moments where if it wasn't Gunther, you would have thought that Ali might have had a chance of walking out of there. I think it was just with the opponent that he had is just Superman. So it wasn't going to happen, but I give Ali credit. Wrestled probably the best match I've seen him wrestle in WWE. So
awesome. And that crowd got a lot to do with it. Like, people were behind you, man. That juice, that'll get you going. Not that juice, but that hype.
Yeah.
That juice, man, that's outlawed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Asuka, with the mist sprayed into her hand, rubs it in Bianca Belair's face and finishes her off and wins the Raw Championship. So now the Raw Championship is actually on a Raw wrestler. So there you go, guys. That worked. But, the crowd was behind Asuka, and this is the second time now that people have been kind of going against Bianca Belair, and what I'm wondering is, are we going to see a change in attitude from Bianca after this?
Yeah, no, I definitely think you have to. Like we saw over the last 2 pay-per-views, or whatever they're calling them now, premium live events.
That's right.
That the crowd is kind of swaying from that, and that's definitely the perfect time that you want to start to switch things up and adapt to it. So I see that coming.
Yeah, and I think we may now be seeing an explanation for that Raw after WrestleMania, where she and Rhea Ripley kind of came together, because now they're I don't know, this is going to be weird.
Yeah.
It's still kind of messed up having a SmackDown champion on Raw and Raw champion on SmackDown, but one point has been resolved on that. We had Rhea Ripley wrestle Natalya. Dominic gets a little bit of a distraction right off the bat, and Natalya on her birthday gets squashed in 69 seconds.
Happy birthday, boo-boo.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
she was so peppy on social media about the whole thing, but that was rough. That was rough to see. I feel bad for Natty.
Well, what did you want?
A decent match.
A barn burner?
Something.
Yeah. Well, she had birthday plans, man. She had things to do.
Yeah, okay.
She wasn't focused.
She flew all the way over there for 69 seconds.
She wasn't focused.
Okay.
It's her birthday, man.
Okay, Dominic distractor. All right. But, of course, continues to establish Rhea Ripley as incredibly dominant. But, yeah, I just wish it wouldn't have been at Natty's expense. We have Brock Lesnar defeat Cody Rhodes by technical submission, making him pass out with the broken arm thing. So I imagine we're setting up Brock and Cody for a rematch.
Was it SummerSlam? Is that coming up?
Yeah, probably. And then the big one, of course, and we've only got about a minute to talk about it, is the Usos. Of course, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn retained the tag team titles, beating Roman Reigns and Solo. We had a little fiasco with a double super kick to Solo from the Usos interfering. Yeah. Roman gets mad, pushes Jay, and Jimmy super kicks Roman twice.
Yeah.
So the bloodline is now a wreck. Did you like the turn for Jimmy?
I think this story is being told so majestically and beautiful, man. I was watching it, and it shades of like Tony Soprano and the underlings that always trying to rise up or feeling some kind of way and want to kick Tony Soprano in the face. Some do it, some don't.
Yeah, and Jimmy played the part well. Jay's like, "Why did you do that?" And he's like, "You should have done this a long time ago."
Yeah,
played perfectly.
So much emotion in this, and you just buy it. It's the best thing. I keep saying it's the best thing going.
Yeah, so this is going to continue, and I'd imagine, we're probably setting up Usos against Solo and Roman, and I'm just curious where Solo's going to end up because he's an Uso brother too, So This will be some quality entertainment coming up as we move forward on that storyline. And kids, that's going to do it. What a show.
Yeah. Amazing.
Thanks Jeff Jarrett. Thanks to the Nasty Boys. Unreal. And we are going to see you guys tonight at Double or Nothing.
Las Vegas.
Yep. We're going to be at the Scrum, you and I.
Yep.
So maybe watch for us on that. And by the way, real fast, I'm going to be appearing on a couple of shows. Tomorrow, I will be on the podcast with my buddy Jeremy Lambert for Fightful. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you check that out. And I'm also going to be on Stu Myrick's show on the Horn on Wednesday night from Austin.
Look at you.
Yeah, hop on there and check it out. I've got that all on social media. Thanks to you, David Difference. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And kids, we'll see you next week on the Mark Hoke Show. Have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.